Hello, everyone. This is the podcast Diritto al Digitale. I'm Giulio Coraggio, location at the law firm DLA Partner in the Department of Intellectual Property and Technology. And today we have really a special guest. We have Ms. Paola Pisano. Ms. Pisano is the former Italian Ministry of Technological Innovation. At the moment, she's a professor of economy and management of innovation at the University of Turin, and she manages a lab dedicated to artificial intelligence. Thank you, Paola, for accepting my invite.
Thank you to you for having me.
Paola, I think you are a mastermind when it comes to artificial intelligence. You've been at the forefront of innovation in our country, and now you continue working in that area. But let's take a step back. Can you give us a bit of what, in your view, are the four stages of artificial intelligence, and what we can do now with AI, and probably what we can do maybe in the next future, if you can foresee a bit of what is coming next.
Yes, this is an important question because if we want to understand what we are today, we need to spend a few minutes to talk about the past. So I think that in artificial intelligence, we can identify four waves. The first one, the first waves is what we call the definition waves from 1950 to 1970. And is when the field of artificial intelligence was funded and the key concepts were first described, including machine learning and neural networks. Then we have the second wave that regards what we call expert system from 1980s to 90s. We call expert system the first type of artificial intelligence that was developed to solve problems about specific domain of knowledge and done by a sample of fixed rules that support decision. And the program of expert system did not improve as the data increased. So there was a lot of difference between what was artificial intelligence in 19 and what is artificial intelligence now. And one of the first expert system is MySyn, and this system was a knowledge based of over 600 rules to make a diagnosis of infectious disease based on patient symptoms. Then we have the third waves, and we call these waves good learners. And it's a wave that starts from 2000 and arrive until the 2020. And here the world started to shift because the browser was invented and everybody got connected and a lot of data started to come out and the machine learning system took off. And good learners emerged, and what they started to do was take all this data from this platform and then do analysis. And today we have a superpower AI in our smartphone, in our pocket. And if you think about, for example, music that we listen, video, or movies that we watch, and all these recommendations, all these systems are mediated by artificial intelligence. But these artificial intelligence are in the plumbing of organization that provide us services in a way that customers, that users couldn't really feel the presence of artificial intelligence, right? And then the four waves that starting from the 2020 and we call it generative AI, of course. And what happened is that there was a moment when generative AI was massively and easily available to customers, to each of us. And we didn't need a PhD in data science, but the AI is available thanks to chat interface. And this technology has immediate application in a wide range of industry. But if I have 1 minute more, I would like to give you more context. There was a lot of work on the internet before the browser was invented, 30 years of development. And what the browser did is that it basically lowered the cost of information transmission. And this led to giants like Google and Baidu and Amazon, and then arrived Napster. And Napster lowered the cost of music acquisition and music distribution. And this gave birth to iTunes and Spotify. And then arrived Apple, and Apple lowered the cost of software distribution and also the cost of software development thanks to Apple APIs. And now ChatGPT is arriving, and what ChatGPT is doing now is lowering the cost of cognition, of problem solving and creativity. And here we are, and this is where what we see right now. And the goal of upcoming generation of upcoming generative models is to improve the ability to solve complex problems related to the reasoning, to the cognition, to the ability to do action and to understand the impact of this action before we are doing this kind of actions. So this is the point.
So it's a sort of a crystal ball that can predict our future based just on the massive amount of data that these kind of AI systems have been eating. I fully agree with you that it's a question of accessibility. But what do you think that what sectors do you feel that will be mainly impacted by generative AI?
Yes. Before answering to this question, let me just tell you one thing. You said an important thing, that artificial intelligence does prediction in this way, thinking that our future will be similar to our past. So okay. If this is okay, it's able to do statistical prediction. Otherwise, we will have some problem. As we are so creativity, we have a lot of creativity in the human behavior. Maybe artificial intelligence will not be able to predict our future. So coming back to your question.
So AI cannot predict the unpredictable.
Exactly. It's not the tool. Coming back to your important question, we are living in a hype in this moment. And the hype is coming because people are starting to reimagine everything using AI. Every single use case using AI. Writing an email, so we can write in an emails with AI. Having a meeting, why we cannot use some tools of AI to having a meeting? Doing an interview. And this reimagination has an important impact on both existing organizations and startups. I think that for established company, there are two main uses of artificial intelligence. The first is do the thing more efficiently. And the second, do what could not be done before.
Yeah.
And coming back to your question, the first sector, I think that is the financial sector, that use artificial intelligence, focus on three macro areas that basically are the areas where artificial intelligence is now used. First one, finding patterns. For example, personalized services, fraud detection, risk prevention, and etc. The second one is automation. So automatized process. Think about chat that interact with customers, for example.
Yeah.
And the third is prediction. So predictive analysis to predict, for example, the stock trend, the future of some sectors. And just let me give you an example. For example, Intesa San Paolo here in Italy is one of the first bank that are using artificial intelligence as a tool. They have a unit of artificial intelligence to develop use case after having a technical and economical due diligence, that this is very important, and also an ethical due diligence. They have defined, I think, more than 15 potential new use case for artificial intelligence, and they also study artificial intelligence to protect digital right in line with AI Act. And they have developed, I think that this is interesting, a quantitative approach to measure if your AI services are ethical or are not ethical. So respect the digital right or not. Then Bloomberg is creating an LLM, a large language model system. Morgan Stanley has personalized ChatGPT and give financial advisors quick access to knowledge relevant to the problems that they need to get across. And then we have my passion, that is the pharmaceutical industry. Sanofi, for example, use AI application to provide executive real-time information on many aspects of company operations. And other uses of AI in the pharmaceutical industry are the identification of new disease that is difficult to identify, develop new drugs. For example, Isomorphic Lab and DeepMind are developing a lot of new drugs, personalized medicine to understand the time and how to deliver drugs to the patients, epidemic forecast, for example, R-Infinity support the government during the pandemic, disease recognition, and this is very important to recognize skin, livers, renal, urology, cancer, brain cancer, and Alzheimer. Then we have a consultant company, and like Capgemini, for example, and Boston Consulting. And I think that we need to spend a couple of minutes on Boston Consulting Group, because they did a very nice experiment that I want to share with you, especially the results of this experiment. So they opened ChatGPT 4 to 758 consultants to test their performance improvement. And they reach 3 important results. The first result: consultants with ChatGPT can manage to complete tasks 25% faster and than the one that didn't use ChatGPT. Second, and another result was that AI act as a leveler, so improving the task of lower performers consultant more than higher performer. So consultant below the average performance improved by 45% with AI, and those above average improved the quality of their work only by 70%. And the third,
there was enough margin of growth,
maybe. And this may be meaning that we will start we will increase the basis of our level. So the 0 will not at 0, but in the future will be at 10. I think. Yes. And the third is incredible because it's the base of fake news and deep fake. And this is that the customer of Boston Consulting Group perceived the quality of consultants' recommendation that have used ChatGPT more positively than the consultant's recommendation reached without ChatGPT, no matter if the recommendation was correct or not.
Yeah.
So even if the recommendation was not correct, the customer perceived this recommendation correct and better.
So the hallucinations,
yes,
because AI is very compelling whenever, even when it's wrong. This
exactly.
is
So this is incredible result in my opinion, because we need to pay attention to the result of artificial intelligence, because now, for example, we use artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence produce a such nice essay or result that we will not change. We don't want to change anything. And so sometimes we do not check the answer. And if we do not check, if we don't check the answer, the result is that the quality of our work will decrease.
yeah.
And so the value of our organization will decrease. So this is
It's very interesting. BCG is one of our clients, and we work with them also on AI projects. So it is very interesting. You mentioned the impact of AI in the life sciences sector, and we are all aware that Italy is actually launching a tender for an AI solution to be supplied to the Italian healthcare system, which, as you said, should improve the capabilities of detection of potential diseases. It doesn't replace the healthcare professional, but it becomes a type of support, as you mentioned, with the analysis run by BCG. We don't have to see AI as a sort of competitor, but as a helper, and we need to be able to use it properly. In that field, I see much of a clash between those that will be able to use AI as part of a layer activity and those that will fight against AI, which will probably lose. And this comes also with lots of regulations, because when we use AI in highly regulated areas, you mentioned the financial sectors, the life sciences sector.
Yes.
We have AI solutions that can bring to wrong results, can be a wrong financial advisor, can result into a prescription that is incorrect. And there is a sort of rush in regulating AI across different jurisdictions. It's not only Europe that is trying to regulate AI. You have an overview of where the world is going around regulating AI. What is your perception? Are we all regulating right? Which countries are more ahead of the pack?
Yes, it's incredible to say, but the first regulation on AI and ethics and AI in general was done by China. So it's not Europe. It's not
Seems like
Europe.
a contradiction.
More than regulation, I would like to share, because I'm not a person in charge with regulation. I would like to share the strategy of countries. So the different countries have of course different approaches on artificial intelligence. And we know, for example, then that US and China are arm wrestling over artificial intelligence. And President Joe Biden has enacted brutal export controls that ban the sale of cutting-edge AI technologies, including chips and chips making equipment to China and Russia. And it also barred Americans from sharing their AI expertise with those countries. So it is very strict regulation on export. And imagine that the last October 23, the American government started requiring companies in third countries, including Saudi Arabia and Emirates, to secure a license to buy AI chips from NVIDIA. And these rules have a presumption of approval, they said. Okay. So that means that the government will probably allow you to buy chips from NVIDIA as long as you do not have close ties to China. And for this announcement, for example, G42, that is a startup, a state-based startup in Abu Dhabi, announced that the company, they announced that they would be cutting their relationship with Huawei, so immediately. And also Microsoft is now considering moving 700 or 800 of its developers from China to US, New Zealand, Australia. So
it's becoming a political topic.
Is a very political topics, and from the other side, China's artificial intelligence strategy is largely a response to American techno-containment. Yeah. And so between 2021 and 2022, the Chinese spent nearly 300 billion to rebuild the chip supply chain at home. Yeah. And they also funneling capital into AI company through nearly 2,000 state funds. And they also encouraging data sharing. They create more than 50 data sharing market to support startup that has ambition to compete with large data rich organization to buy data and to be able to compete. And we have also, for example, Saudi Arabia in this big picture, and Emirates that emulate China and American strategy. We know that autocracy can move faster than democratic governments. And so they are also very economical healthy, so they can afford both the GPU's cost and the energy cost that they need to run this model. They also channel money into developing of human capital, and their university are quickly climbing up the ranking, the global ranking of university. They have a lot of AI programs, such as in the University of Science and Technology in Saudi Arabia, the University of Artificial Intelligence in Abu Dhabi, that is the first university in the world completely addressed to artificial intelligence. And of course, they have poached star professor from other university around the world, from California, from Berkeley, and they kindly invited the graduate students to stay in the region and to work at a local firm or local laboratory after the degree, the graduation.
Are you planning to move there?
Not yet. It's too hot for me, and I don't like their dress styles. But we never know in the future.
Just 1 minute. Can you tell us how you are advising companies on AI as part of your consultancy service?
Yes, basically, I'm a director of a laboratory in a artificial intelligence and data laboratory at the University of Torino, and we have this laboratory in partners with technology companies to create a multidisciplinary team composed of university and private company. This because the research challenge of universities not only to compete with other university, but now is also to compete with company research team. Think about, for example, DeepMind, Google DeepMind. Mm-hmm. And we address basically, we would like to we are focused on three main goals. The first is support private and public entities in using AI for current business and emerging challenges, supporting university and research organizations using AI in order to improve research, teaching and administrative process, and build a network of technological partners that can provide support to the major unmet needs around the world. For example, one needs that we want to address, to solve, is the antibiotic resistance. And we work with the university, we work with the government. For example, we have developed an early warning system for conflict prediction that support the governments to understand if in the other country is raising the percentage of violence, and so to act in order to create a policy of de-escalation, or to act in order to bring back our citizens. We also work with the intergovernmental organization on raw material analysis and the impact of raw materials on different countries' value chain. We work on pharma and care because I love this this sector, and we use AI we integrating AI for patient and staff management in the hospitals. We use also AI in the cultural sector to support restores in restoring art craft. And finally, we work on explainability of artificial intelligence. So develop approach and methodology in order to create an artificial intelligence that is explainable and not a black box, like it is in this moment, because neural network create a black box is normal. But we are developed also with Intesa San Paolo a methodology to better explain after what a neural network did before.
Yeah, indeed. I fully agree that the explanation of AI to the audience is crucial to create trust, and creating trust is essential to have it flourishing. To have flourishing, you need also compliance, and that's why you need also lawyers to prove compliance and generate trust.
A lot of lawyers artificial intelligence require, because a lot of activities need the support of lawyers, and also think about, for example, OpenAI and the problem that is in the using of data. So absolutely, you are at the central of this new technology. Good for you.
Yeah. Well, people usually don't like lawyers, so we need to become more likable. Paola, it was a very interesting chat. I'm sure we're gonna talk about AI many times in the coming months and years. Your work is essential to educate our population to use AI, and we really appreciate that. Thank you again, and have a great day.